Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special Wrestling with Rosenberg. My name is Peter Rosenberg. I'm at Rock the Bells, and yet no hip-hop interviews for me today. I saw the man, Tiny Zeus Lister.
God bless you, man.
Pleasure, man.
It's a pleasure. A real wrestling fan.
A real wrestling fan. There's so many things we could talk about with his acting career and Debo and so much more, but I want to stick to wrestling, and this is a guy who had an incredible run back in 1989, a few pay-per-views, the first WWF movie, essentially. They now have their own studio, WWE Studios. It all started with No Holds Barred. How did it all begin with your work with the WWE?
Basically, it was an audition. They was looking for a black guy, and because, you know, a black and a white guy fighting makes more money than two white guys fighting or two black guys fighting. And I basically knew about the character. And so when I trained at Gold's Gym, and I walked in as Zeus. When I came in, I was no shirt on. I was 285, and later I went up to 305, and because I started working out with the WWF back then. It was the WWF, and
do you remember who you auditioned for? Who was there when you first walked in?
Hulk Hogan, and Vince McMahon, and when I walked in, everybody just got quiet, and Vince McMahon started smiling, and he said, "That's Zeus," but I came in as Zeus. I went in the bathroom, pumped up real good, did about 100 push-ups, put a lot of baby oil on me, walked in with no shirt on, had the black tape on, drew the Z in my head, and later we let the hair grow and where it be a real natural Z. And I came in as the character. I went all the way. I had the shoes made where it made me taller than Hulk, because me and Hulk is both 6'5" in real life. So I walked in about 6'7", 287. And then later I went up to 305 because they gave me 3 months to get ready for the movie.
So did they tell you from jump that this is going to be a movie and then we're going to do an angle out of the movie?
Yeah,
They knew.
Well, I don't want to touch no dudes. I'm not into touching dudes. And then they told me how much money I was going to make. I said, "What do you want me to sex your ass, man? Come on, let's go, baby." I mean, because I say, man, dang, Vince is like Ice Cube. He plays very well, and so it was the best time I've ever had, and being with Monster, they let me be free like that character, like the Zeus, the Debo character, and they let me go around giving people ghetto massages and choking people out, and I let them
beat that.
Hey, and get paid for it.
And that's exactly what you did in WWE.
Hey, I shook up the WWE. It was when I wrestled, it was a lot of jealousy because I was an outsider. I was from Hollywood.
How did that work? Well,
No, it was a lot of tension when I wrestled.
Is there anyone in particular who smartened you up, who pulled you aside and said, "Listen, I'm going to try to show you how this stuff goes"? Because there's a lot of nuance to the wrestling world.
The Samoans and the Tongans, and Hulk always. We was both rep by the same guy, Peter Young, at the time, and now I'm over at Abrams, and I've been over there for 3 years. But Peter was like our dad from, all of us was there. Me, Hulk, Mr. T, George Foreman, Roddy Piper. We was all at Peter Young's. And
so you had a little bit of a relationship with Hogan going into it.
Yeah, and Hulk was like my big brother, so he took care of me out there. But I still got my nose broke when we did the movie, and I started crying. I did my best acting job.
Did Hulk break it?
Yeah, he missed this mark because Hulk was out of his water. Movies was my water. Wrestling was his. So when he came in mine, he missed his mark. He didn't mean to, and when a 300-pound man hit another 300-pound man, something gives, and it was my nose.
So you guys do this movie, and then when you show up to the locker room to start this run, there already has to be some jealousy because you already starred in a movie for them, and there was a huge promotional push.
And you got to understand, the only way you can make a lot of money. Hey, y'all be quiet in the back. I'm doing an interview. Choke your ass out. Okay, back to what we were saying. You can't make no money unless you wrestle the man. And Hulk is the man. Now it's The Rock and, what's his name? John Cena.
CM
So
Punk,
if you ain't wrestling Hulk, you ain't making no money. And so I created a lot of jealousy, even to the point that Andre Giant, 7'1", 505 pounds, and I'm 6'5", 305, 200 pounds bigger than me. I created a lot. He thought I was taking everybody's money. So this little guy named Dusty Rose used to drive me around and take me to my locations. Said this guy, he couldn't make no money to feed his son if it wasn't for me. But one time I was walking down this hallway. I'm from Compton. I'm bench pressing 575 pounds back then, 565. And I'm about to go over there and work out the Booyah Tribe in Carson. And I'm the baddest dude in the world, man. And I'm walking this way, and it's a hallway only big enough for one person to pass. And the other person was coming this way. It was Andre the Giant. And somebody had to get against that wall, and it wasn't Andre the Giant. Hey, man.
Did he end up being cool? Did you end up getting to know him a little bit?
Yeah, and then later on he was cool because this guy the guy was driving me around, had to explain to him I was a good dude. And your guy, Jake the Snake, one day I was taking a shower in San Diego, man, and I had to make an appearance. I think I had to make an appearance. I took a shower, and it was so much heat on me because the hip-hop audience started following wrestling when I went into the game. And so he had to bust me down a little bit, had to give me a little humility. So he threw that big python, 20-foot python in that shower with me. And I started talking like Michael Jackson and Prince, man. My bass left my voice.
Jake used Damien in the shower, threw it in the shower.
In the shower with me. And it was right by the door.
Had anyone at this point warned you there's this thing in wrestling called ribbing and people rib each other all the time? Yeah. Like, did you know that happened?
I thought I was off limits. Cause see, they never let me get around nobody else. They put me in a private room. They put Hulk in a private room and put me and Macho Man in a private room. They never kept me around. Vince treated me good. I was in the nicest suites.
See, but that must have also just in some ways made it harder because you're separated from the boys. That's different.
And I remember this one black guy. I forget his name.
Coco Beware?
No, he was big as me, and he was he was next in line to wrestle against Hulk. And it really, and I started understanding what was going on. The only way I can make money in Hollywood, but the only way they can make money, but they started paying me like $60,000 for 10 minutes and $56,000, $40,000. I left $500,000 on the table in 1989 to wrestle Hulk. And Hulk's gonna get paid $2 million, and they put a plug. I got cars given to me.
So real quick, the story was you guys did SummerSlam as a tag match, right?
And the Survivor Series.
And Survivor Series was the cage match, and then you should have had another match with Hogan one-on-one. Those were both tag matches, right?
Yeah, it was gonna always be a WrestleMania with me and Macho Man against Hulk and BK the Barber.
Now, be as honest with me as you can.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Wrestling is a tough craft. How were you with the wrestling part of it? Like that's a tough thing to learn and jump in.
Well, you're in front of 89,000 people, and Hulk get really excited when he's in front of that kind of crowd. I was always fearful because I was a fish out of my water, and in a steel cage match, we was about 20 feet up in the air, and we had to fall backwards and not break our necks, and so I had to learn the techniques. It's just like doing stunts in Hollywood, but I have so much respect for them guys because I see them get hurt real bad. And the next day they wrestling again.
So did Hulk have to lead you through?
We set up a routine. We'll go work out the day before, us four, in Tampa with Hulk, and I was a fast learner. Vince offered me the belt, but my agent was Peter Young at the time. They handled Hulk. I don't know if that was good for me, because that might have been a conflict of interest. Because he told me don't take it, and I should have took the run. Because Vince was going to pay me to carry the belt for a year. And you know what kind of money that is.
That time, that was, the title meant a lot back then.
Exactly, and he offered the belt to me.
What was Savage like?
Macho Man was a great person, man. Just took care of me, made sure I was all right all the time. He was always like a teacher and a big brother. He always protected me, and protected me from myself. And I just, man, love. He's up there in heaven hanging out with God, doing oh yeah right now. But he really took care of me. Him and Scary Sherry.
She's amazing,
she was
right?
cool. And Macho Man's wife back then, Miss Elizabeth, she was so beautiful, man.
She really was.
She was. God.
And then you had a little run with DiBiase as well, right?
Yeah, well, they put me in the Survivor Series, and so he bought me. The $1 Million Man had to buy it. He bought my services, and he paid me a lot of money for that too. And he was a nice guy. I've really been blessed to work with some really good people. Ultimate Warrior was a good dude to me.
He's another guy who had a lot of heat because
he had a lot of heat back. He was the number 2 guy Hulk was 1 and he was 2. But you know, to make the money, you had to fight Andre the Giant. You know what I'm saying? But the 2 guys that was marketing the whole league around was Hulk and Ultimate Warrior back then.
So did Vince tell you specifically, like one of the things that's interesting about you being this monster heel character, this super bad guy, is that you no-sold. Like basically what made you look so unstoppable is that no one's moves were effective on you at all. So did they tell you that? Did they instruct, like, listen, until you basically have your match with Hogan, it was just squash jobs. No one even touched you.
Yeah, larger than life. And I've never seen so many people. I was getting real death threats. It really worked. This thing that Vince did, he put in the Stars and National Choir that I'm a blood and a crip. I ain't never been a gangbanger. I don't drink. He said I done murdered 3 people. I got about 5 kids. I beat my wife. I'm on heroin. All kind of stuff. And people was believing that stuff.
So he's just trying to work everyone.
Man, he worked it, man. And when you start getting real death threats or your private number when you come home and they're going to kill you and your girlfriend, it makes your senses get really alert, man. And,
so what did Vince, what about, you were telling me off the air about keeping you away from people. He had you not going out.
Well, I wanted to go to malls when I go to different cities.
Of course you did. You were popping back then.
Yeah,
you had to be at the mall.
But he didn't want me being nice to nobody. So he would keep me under wrap in the room. I remember one time my phone bill with my girlfriend back then. Her name was Janine Batch from the MC Hammer video. Have you seen her? My phone bill one time was $15,000 for the month. Vince paid like it wasn't nothing. Vince was making $25 million every pay-per-view I did. So in between 225 to 25 million. The hip hop audience came with me. So Vince actually got another audience when I came.
You ended up also having a little brief run in WCW.
Yeah.
How was that?
Hulk offered me 20 grand to get hit in the head with a frying pan. Hell yeah, you hit me in the head with a frying pan. I will always be with the Hulk. And I fought Andre. I fought Butcher in Puerto Rico, and but most of the time, and they wanted me to lose the Butcher over in Puerto Rico. Shit. I took a couple police officers with me, with some 9mm.
So did the boys tell you that in Puerto Rico it could be real?
Well, I heard they cut Razor Brody open over there, right?
They killed him.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So I peeped the game, and so. Being from Compton, hanging out with people like Ice-T and Ice Cube and Pac and all them, they say, Debo, go get your money. But I took a couple of police officers with me and 9mm with them. And if I go to the bathroom, they go with him. So they try to talk to me. They say if he goes to the bathroom, we go with him. And they done took their guns out.
So was the heat crazy in Puerto Rico too?
The heat was crazy. I wrestled in one venue one night. It was 15,000. I wrestled at a baseball.
And they hated you.
Man, no, they loved me.
Oh, so
they made Abdullah the Butcher the heel.
Oh, Abdullah was the heel.
But I was a bad guy that everybody loved, like Scarface. Remember the movie I did, Dark Knight, with the White So Serious, the Joker.
Yep.
But everybody loved that character. Everybody loved Zeus. Everybody fell in love with Zeus. I had white kids used to write me letters. Pictures on the plane. We love you. And they had me put my foot on Hulk's throat. So it's beautiful when you see you transcend colors. And I just thank God for them taking care of me there because I'm blind in one eye. I didn't want nothing to happen to my good eye.
Were you always blind in one eye?
Yeah.
So did that affect you working in wrestling?
I've always moved like that. I was a national shot put champion at Cal State LA. Track and field was my first, always been my first love. If we ain't talking about God, but God's always my first love.
But when you do, after you're a shot put champion, which is pretty incredible, you never considered wrestling as just being like, this is something no one said to you, you look like a wrestler?
My goal was to become FBI, CIA, Secret Service, and guard the president because I was a bouncer. And then I would try to play in the USFL a little while. They cut me, and I went to do a movie with Walter Hill called Blue City. And then they called me back and said, we want to bring you back and teach you how to play football because I ran a 4.7 and a 40 at 275. And I ran 4.69. And I said, you lied to me. So I kept doing movies. I've done 171 movies, 29 years. But it ain't nothing like wrestling.
Was it the biggest rush you've ever gotten?
It's the biggest rush. When you step in front of 83,000 people and they hollering. When you step in front of 83,000 people and they scared because you're going to beat their big white hero up. And ain't nothing they can do about it. Because you got to remember, Compton was the murder capital of America. So it's easy for Vince to build that larger-than-life thing.
Well, and this is during the prime of NWA scaring white America.
So Cube and all them started rapping about me. And Game grew up in Compton, so he said, damn, man, that's my big brother. So he said, I want to be gangster like Debo when he was Zeus. He started putting the lyrics in his songs. So I got mad love to all my rap. The rappers is my favorite people in Hollywood because it's so cliquish in Hollywood. The only person that protects me is the rappers. So just love them, man.
They've always showed love. I mean, you're in Friday. I mean, you're a part of hip hop lore forever now too.
Yeah. You know, you don't. The whole thing when you're in football, playing the NFL, or whatever you're in, you don't want to get Debo, right? You don't want to get knocked out, right?
Literally to this day, you got Debo'd. Comes up on a regular basis.
Yeah, like I met Zach Randolph about a month ago at the Four Seasons. So they call him Zebo, right? With Memphis. So he gave me his phone number. I'm supposed to do some charity work with him down at his hometown. So matter of fact, it reminds me I got to give him a call.
Have you stayed in touch with any of the wrestlers? You said you'd reach out to Hulk from time to time.
I only called Hulk. I heard Hulk was hurt in a boating accident trying to protect his wife and his daughter. And Peter Young told me. So I called him and just let him know in Jesus' name I love him and praying for him he'll be all right. Hulk is a really good dude.
You know, man. But you know that there are people who over the years in the wrestling world, people have a lot of mixed feelings on Hulk because of the money, because of how much power he had. So it's interesting that your experience with him was one that was you really just looked out.
Let me tell you how blessed I am sitting here with you, man. And I love the passion and the detail and the love you have for this thing, because I wouldn't did it for a while, and it's crazy. You talking to a guy, and everybody in the hip hop world need to understand this. God has strategically placed me to work with Michael Jackson, Tupac Shakur last film, Game Related. I kill him in Game Related. The greatest singer, the greatest rapper to ever live, the greatest actor is Marlon Brando, they say. I worked with him in Don Juan DeMarco with Johnny Depp and Faye Dunaway. And I worked with the greatest wrestler ever lived.
That's an incredible
Is that crazy?
run. What did you remind me what you did with Michael?
I did Remember Time video. I'm chasing him through the video, and I would never cut, so Michael loved it. But him and John Singleton got together and put some live snakes in this one basket.
You and snakes.
And hey, I punked out like a big old bitch.
Yeah, I'm surprised my watch doesn't scare you right now. People go at you with the snakes.
Hey, Jake the Snake had to bring that Zeus stuff down a little bit.
Well, they had to. They had to. Did you learn something? Did you learn anything about humility by jumping into a different world like that, where people take it so seriously?
Well, I know one thing: when you do something, when you're dealing with animals, or you dealing with somebody else's water, you always got to have respect. Because if you don't respect it, it will hurt you. And it only takes a moment to die. And so when I'm on a set with animals, like I worked with a tiger before, I work with a lot of guns. I listen to the props. I listen to the stunt coordinators. I listen to what Hulk says. I listen to what all the other wrestlers says, because I'm a fish out of water. And I didn't know how much jealousy it was given to me, because I would stay in my lane. But then I started feeling it.
Well, it's funny. This gives me a great opportunity to say something about wrestling that I've never said on camera, but I feel all the time. To me, the most amazing thing about professional wrestling is that the goal of it is to look like you're hurting people when the goal is actually to protect the people that you're with. So it's particularly interesting when you have wrestlers in the ring, let's say, who might have actual heat with each other, and they're supposed to look like they hate each other, but they have to protect each other out of respect for the business. It's a pretty special, weird situation.
But sometimes some people will be a little stiff.
Of course.
And it gets a little real.
Did anyone stiff you at all?
Well, we practice routine. And Hulk forced to drop the big leg on me one time. And Hulk has found out, and I found out, and everybody that love Hulk, we have found out the reason why Hulk back is so messed up is from the doctors telling him he's doing that big leg because it put all the pressure on his lower back. And that's why he had all them surgeries. And but Hulk said, I'm gonna drop the big leg on you one time. So he said he's gonna drop it across your chest. But when you're in front of 85,000 people, he dropped it across my face. And I'm trying to talk about and still be quiet. Hey, Hulk, that's my jawbone, man. And then he drops the leg about 4 more times. We only practice it 1 more time.
Well, is he in any way, you think he's also trying to heat you up a little bit? Because there's always that sense of...
Hulk This is what a Hulk is good at. And that's why when I work for Monster, I don't come out here and just sign autographs. I come out here and put a show on. I become Debo. And I treat everybody like they Ice Cube and a Chris Tucker, and I'm choking their butt out. And where I'm from, that's called a ghetto massage. I'm relieving stress out of people's mind. You know what I'm saying, brother? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
So you know you little Hulkamaniacs and you little Ice Cube fans, you need to sleep with your lights on, because Debo Zeus is live and well, and there's my bicycle. Can you dig it?
I think we'll end there.